So hey guys, I'm back. My name is Benjamin Gao. I am a junior in high school at Dreyfus School of the Arts in West Palm Beach. And today I'm volunteering with Junior Achievement. And we are doing the BizTown program. And if you don't remember, last time we looked at lesson one, which was financial services, and we looked at how banks work, what they do, and how they play an important role in our lives. And this is lesson two, and we're going to dive further into checking accounts. If you don't remember, banks and financial institutions, they offer a lot of services to us customers, whether that be credit cards, safe deposits of our money, and online banking. But one of the most important things that they offer to us is access of checking accounts. Now, if you don't remember, checking accounts are bank accounts where we deposit money to be used pretty soon. So if I get paid $100, I can put that in my checking account so I can use that $100 to buy groceries later in the week. Checking accounts are very important, especially when you have a job. And so we are going to quickly take a look at the important vocabulary words that we need to understand before we dive further into what a checking account is. And I will pull that up real quick. So the first word that we are going to take a look at is a CFO. Now I'm going to spell this word out, and I'll put the acronym CFO. But CFO stands for Chief Financial Officer. Now you may be wondering, why does a CFO have to do anything with a checking account? Well, when you think about checking accounts, one of the most critical parts that you have to consider is you need your checking account when you get a job. And employment is a whole other can of worms that we're not going to open yet, but we're going to look at the surface just a little bit. And when you have a job, you get paid. That's why that money goes into your checking account. And the person that usually controls how much, when, and how often you get paid is the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. The CFO is an officer that is responsible for a business's finances, and that includes your wage and your salary. We're going to also look at the word endorse. This also has to do with when you have a job and you're getting paid. When you endorse, it's to write a signature on the back of a check. When you get your paycheck and your salary, you get it in the form of a check that goes to your checking account. And in order for that check to be valid, the CFO usually has to endorse that check. Next, we're going to look at is income. Well, like we just talked about, income is another word for salary, or in other words, the money that you get paid. Income is the money that people earn for their work. And usually that's in an hourly wage. Like I can get paid like $15 by the hour. Some people make $100 by the hour. And that money that you earn for work is known as income. Next, we're going to look at is paycheck. Now, this is the actual money that you earn. A paycheck is a check received for your work completed. Like I just mentioned earlier, the money that your salaries often come in the form of a physical or electronic check. You're also going to look at, now we're going to go to the banking side of things. We're going to look at what a deposit ticket is. Deposit ticket, it's pretty simple. It is a written record of money that's put into a checking account. If I deposit $5 into my checking account, I get a little written record that says Ben deposited $5 into his checking account. It's pretty simple. The next one to look at is a direct deposit. Now, a direct deposit is an electronic transfer of money from one account to another, often used by employers to pay their employees. So that helps reduce the hassle of like giving you cash or sometimes a check, and they'll just put that money straight into your checking account. Next one we're going to look at is the net deposit. Now, this is a very important word that we're going to visit later. Net deposit is the amount of money placed into account after all the deductions such as cash back are made. So if we'll look at the word later, but direct deposit is a very important word. So these are the 7 words that we have to focus on for today's lesson. Let me fix something real quick. Give me a second. Sorry. And now we're going to look at paychecks and what they look like and how to properly fill out a paycheck. You have to understand that you're in BizTown. We are in this whole virtual environment of a town. And say you get a job, and success in this depends on good money management skills. And these money management skills include things like being able to write a check, like we're about to take a look at, being able to keep track of money in your account. And for example, um, when you get paid for this job you're about to do, you have to be able to know where that money is going and how to keep track of it. So quickly, we are going to take a look at paychecks, what they look like, and how to properly pull one together. So this is our paycheck for BizTown. In the real world, it might look a little bit different, but all checks have the same 7 or 8 components that are very important. Remember, before you deposit a paycheck into your checking account, it has to be endorsed. And to endorse a check, you have to write your name in cursive. It can be a signature on the back of the check at the where it says endorse here. So we look right here. This is the front of a paycheck. It says the name of the business that is paying you, the date, very important. It tells you one in numerical format, how much you're getting paid, and in word format, how much you're getting paid. So if you see here, it says $8.33. Here it says 8 and 33 out of 100, which is 33 cents. It's very important that you write the amount you're getting paid in 2 forms to avoid any conflicts. Here's a memo. It says payroll. That's basically for your own keepsake, like what this check is. And here's a signature and your bank account number. So the first question it asks, what type of check is this? Well, that's what we've been talking about so far. The only checks we've talked about are paychecks. This is the money that we receive for our job, and it comes in the form of a check. Second question is, which business wrote this check? Well, like I just mentioned, if we look at the top left of the check, the name of the company is written there. So the business that wrote this check for us is JA BizTown News. And where did you endorse the check? Like I talked about, you have to endorse the check at the top of the back where it says endorse here. And so the answer to this would be on the back. And last question is, why did you sign your name on the back of the check? Well, you have to prove that the check that you received is for you. If you don't sign it, there's no physical proof that that check was meant for you. So this is a quick example we just took a look at for how to endorse a paycheck. Now we're going to go into a bigger activity, which is practicing deposits. Like I mentioned before, when your boss wants to pay you, he can either give you a paycheck in the physical form of a check that we just looked out, or he can make a direct deposit into your bank account. Whichever is usually this we're about to look at, the deposit is easier. And so we're going to look at what it looks like, what a deposit ticket looks like, and the essential components of it. So the first question asks, who is making this deposit? Well, if you take a look at it, you're going to have to get really familiar with what a deposit ticket looks like, so you know what's everything on there. So at the top, it gives us the name of who is making the deposit. It is Jennifer Smith. Number 2, what is the date of the deposit? Well, if you just go down 1 inch, it says loud and clear the date, which is April 17th, 2019. Number 3, what is the amount of the check that she is depositing? Well, this is a little more complicated. We have to take a look at this table that is on the deposit ticket. At the top is where we're looking for it. It says $8.50, which is $8.50, and that is the amount of the check that she is depositing. How much cash did she receive? Question 4. Now we are going to have to look a little bit closer right under subtotal right here, it says less cash received. This indicates a cash pack. That's she's taking money in the form of physical cash, and so it's deducted from her bank account. So it says right here, if you take a close look, 150, which indicates $1.50. Question 5, what is the net deposit amount? Well, like I mentioned before, net deposit is a very important word. What that means is you deposit your initial amount into the bank and you have to subtract the amount that you receive as cash. So Jennifer deposited $8.50, but she took out $1.50 in cash. And so our net deposit is that $8.50 minus $1.50. And so we just do some quick math. You are left with $7, and that is your net deposit. And question 6, what is the account number? Well, this one's a little bit easier. It says bottom right, it says loud and clear, account number 234. Last question 7 is, why does she sign her deposit ticket? Well, whenever you want money in the form of cash, you must sign it in order to prove that it's yours, and that's what your intent that you're trying to do. So the reason why she signed her deposit check or ticket is because she wanted cash back. And we are going to quickly take a look at, so we're going to go into a little bit of a harder activity. I want to look at a bank statement, what we call the two-line method. It's how we accurately record money that we deposit into a bank account or withdraw. So this one's a little bit more complicated, but we are going to go through it. Give me a second. All right. So this table might look a little bit complicated to you. It looks a little bit complicated to me, but there are basically 5 important components that will tell us everything about this table right here. And if you look at the top, it says, record our charges or credits that affect your account. So whenever you put money in, you have to record it. Or whenever you take money out, you also have to record that. So let's read the first thing. Making a deposit entry in the transaction register. So we have a beginning balance of $10 in this customer's account. When a deposit is made, the word deposit is entered onto the next white line. Note the plus sign at the top of the deposit/credit column indicates that the deposit amount should be added to the balance. The deposit is added to the current balance in the balance column. And the new balance is $17. So what does that mean? So it tells us that we have an initial balance in our account of $10. If you look right here, it tells us the initial balance is $10. And so we have a customer. Let's give this person the name. We'll use Jennifer again. She wants to deposit $7 into her bank account. So what do? It's simple. If she comes in on April 17th, well, we write down the date, 4/17. She told us that she wants to deposit the money. So we write down what kind of transaction it is to deposit. And she wants to deposit an amount of $7. So that's clear. And so on the right side here, we add +7 because she wants to add money to her account. And so what our new balance is we take the initial amount, $10, and we add the new deposit, which is $17. Our new balance is $17. And here's number 2. Now we're going to practice what happens when we deduct a check in this transaction register. So when a check is written or any other payment is made, the payee, which is, say, Jennifer, or whatever we're doing, is entered on the white line, and the amount is entered under the payment/debit column. And again, under the balance column. The minus sign under the payment debit This column indicates that the amount should be subtracted from the previous balance. Then the new balance is entered. You might recommend that you guys, the students that are doing this, use plus and minus signs for these new entries. So this is the same table that we just looked at earlier. So remember, we had the initial balance of $10. We had a deposit of $7. And so our new balance right here is $17. And so Jennifer comes back and she tells us that she wants to use $5 of that money that in her account to pay JA BizTown News right here. So she comes in April 21st and she wants to withdraw, or she wants to write a check for $5. So what do? Well, we write here in this column, we write that, well, she told us she wants to write a check for $5. So that means she's taking money out of her account. So we have 5 written there. And in our new balance column, we have to write minus $5. Remember, when you deposit money, you're adding money into your account. And when you write a check, you're withdrawing money. So our new balance is what we take. Our new balance is given by, we take our initial balance and we subtract that money she's taking out. So remember, the previous balance was $17. She writes a check for $5, so we subtract 5. Our new balance is $12. So this is what happens after Jennifer deposits $7 and subtracts $5. So her total balance at the end is $12. And so this may seem complicated to you guys. It seems complicated to me. It's a pretty convoluted table, but it's a very important component of how you record your transactions and what goes on in your bank account. Without this, you would have no records of whenever you withdraw or deposit money, and that can lead to many, many issues. You want to know the accurate amount of money that goes into your account. Feel free to go back and practice this activity with any scenario that you want. Remember that you have to write down the date, the transaction description, the payment that you're making, and you have to do some addition or subtraction to get your new balance. This is a very important activity, and we're going to use it more in the future as we dive deeper into BizTown. So thank you.